Duvid here. You're about to stream live the Crazy House World Championship. Trying to get this going here. Sorry, I think it just started. I think I'm a second late. Okay, so it looks like Chuck is also streaming with someone. But okay, so here we have Crazy 8, my teammate, and Di Blasau, also known as Planteater. And so I missed the very beginning of the first game. Looks like Crazy 8 has a time advantage, so they're sitting, and he has a huge material advantage, so should be able to mate. You could just push the pawn and knight, but yeah, so this should be checkmate, and Di Blasau will move, give a little bit of time, and this is going to be probably mate. He doesn't have, he has two queens, so first game there. This might be, and slaughter. Could be, almost even like a 10-0. Time will be a big factor. I actually see here that the American team has got a small time lead to the advantage. However, Di Blasau here has a kind of a busted open king side. Although he doesn't have a pawn right now, and so he just moves in, and just the knight checkmate. So it was a very quick, easy victory. So hopefully, so this might be just a quick crush. So here, Di Blasau again, just the castled king, the same technique. So my first time streaming this on chess.com. It looks like Chuck Moulton is also streaming it, so you could see that Crazy 8 on the smaller board, and I'm not actually sure how to move the pieces back to see the previous moves. So here we got flip back Crazy 8. Pretty strong threats. So this is not like Crazy House. This is typical bug house that the pieces go to your partner. And so actually the American team, Todd and Sayori are up time these games, but they're not on the board ahead. So that was just a simple knight mate. So I can't even go back. So we get 3-0 quick defeat there. Here you got Crazy 8 in black, and Todd is pushing his kingside pawns, which has not seemed to have been working out that well for him. In this case, they do have a slight time advantage, and can he? So the knight is defending on the pawn. Maybe castle the safety. Probably doesn't need to. The knight defending, just knight back, takes with the queen. The king looks safe, running to queenside c8. Di Blasau looks like he already has rook mate. He's down a few seconds, but we'll see if anything happens there. So he plays the queen. He just loses the queen for nothing. That's pretty crazy. Todd there just blunders his queen for nothing. And if he takes, he doesn't have a pawn, so pawn mates. And now it looks like they've caught up on time. And it doesn't look like he has anything. And Di Blasau here doesn't have any material, but his king's relatively safe. He's got the two queens around his king, but the dark squared bishops. And so I'm not sure who's waiting. The pawn almost mates, basically. So, he could probably do bishop takes pawn and then just knight at e3 and pick the queen back up for an easy win. So I'm not exactly sure what Crazy 8 is sitting for. It doesn't look like Sayori has anything, so he just takes the knight. As I said, just bishop takes pawn, and then he could probably win the queen. Yeah, so he just goes for it, gets the time back, gets the queen with check here, almost mating. Although if Todd got a bunch of material right away, he could possibly have something. He has a knight for e7, so he does have a knight for e7. So the material coming at the wrong time for this Shelby mate. So mate in one. So that game was a tad bit closer. We'll see if we get a 10-0 sweep. So Divalsau here at the top of the screen with black, crazy 8. So Todd goes for the sack on f2 right away. They do have a few second lead, but really get the material that he needs. Divalsau, pretty standard, a little bit of a sit. So I mean, does he just put the knight? He can't really put the knight on f2 right away. He has to worry about your possible counterattack. Well, it's actually unclear. I'm not sure if Todd, just wanted to go for knight at f2. What would happen? So close time crunch. Hard to tell what's going on. I'm not exactly sure what Todd is waiting for. What piece of a diagonal would even help him that much? Because g1 is double defended. So if he's planning on putting the knight on g1, it wouldn't necessarily lead to mate here on Todd's screen. So sorry, you only got 3 people watching. I just thought I'd pop on stream. I hadn't streamed much, so he just goes for the knight at f2. Like I said, I'm not sure what the advantage of waiting so long was if he did that. So he finally takes, and he takes back. So this is not looking that great for crazy 8. However, and they're still down time. So knight is almost checkmate. Knight at knight e2 looks good. He looks reasonably okay, so I guess he goes trying to open up some material, but I'm not sure if that was so clever, if that helped him to open that up. So Divalsau might have outthought himself. So crazy 8 looks relatively safe. So Todd sacks the queen, goes in, and so a rook would mate or a knight. So it's going to come down to a very close time. A rook or a knight mates for Divalsau, and it's still a rook or a knight mates. So Todd gets a game 4-1. So crazy 8, that didn't work out that great for him. So here also Todd with the immediate sack on f7. Divalsau and crazy 8 will have to coordinate their material and in the time that ironically Todd and Sayori are getting up on time in the beginning. So it was a little bit dangerous, and so they lost the game there. They will not be sweeping 10-0, so they're 4-1. Probably, I think, 5 games left. So looking pretty good here for crazy 8. Decent attack. How does he push forward? Can they coordinate the proper material at the same time? And so Sayori without any material now to place on the board. How dangerous is this position for him? Does he need something? Crazy 8, very powerful attack right here. Although, what kind of attack does Todd have on the defense? And they're down time again, actually. So the knight. So what does crazy 8 have here? What's the idea? Does he is he going to try for something like at h3 and give up the queen? Or what type of material is he looking for, like a rook or something? I'm not even sure that would help. So he sacks the queen. So that's actually, they're down time. So this one's not looking that great again for Todd and crazy 8. The time deficit and their, I mean, a rook would mate for crazy 8 at e1, have to sack the queen and then taking the queen, but he's down time. so he has to make a defensive move. So yeah, just a pawn on just a simple pawn attack on d+out. It looks extremely painful. It's unclear exactly what he could do to stop this. Does he, try to make a run for it? Does he take one of these pawns? Does he take the knight and try to make a run for it? So it's not looking good again. So Sayori and Todd might pull off another victory here. Crazy 8 and d+out coming down time right out of the opening. So he goes for the check. Maybe he could take the rook, but it's not enough. I don't see the force check sequence, so I'm not exactly sure. So he does go for the rook that should be mating for Crazy 8. So they are down a few seconds. d+out needs to survive a few seconds. He might be able to run to the queen side. So Crazy 8 has mate in 1. d+out needs to survive about 7 seconds. He decides to sack the material, and so he only has a queen and a rook. And oh wow, d+out walks into mate. He didn't have to do that. He didn't see that the queen was defending h3. So Todd and Sayori get a second game there. So a little sloppiness. The main factor is that Sayori and Todd are getting a time advantage right out of the opening. So they have to be a little bit more careful. So here this looks semi-crushing. Actually, I'm not sure. It depends on how the material is looking for d+out. So I'm not exactly sure what Crazy 8 did. That didn't look that good. What happened right there? So does Sayori have an attack here? So he just places the queen, allowing him a square for the knight, but it doesn't look like enough. So maybe d+out could survive this. He has that bishop there embedded on e2. If it was a pawn, it might be more powerful. So it's a little bit unclear what he's going to do with it. Does he just retreat the bishop and make room? So he uses the bishop for defense against the queen mate, and possibly threatening attacking d2. This looks painful. It looks mate in 1 for actually I'm not sure it's mate in 1. It's not quite mate in 1. So Crazy 8, he's down a few seconds, and it's unclear. I mean, he could just take the queens. He could trade the queens, and you could do knight takes queen, and that's probably mating. Knight takes queen. I mean, so he does takes the queen. So now d+out has 2 queens. He's down a few seconds. It doesn't look like Sayori has any immediate mate, but it's unclear d+out's attacking status. I mean, he could try removing the defender for the e7 mate like rook x knight. Then he probably just takes with the knight, and so he has to worry about rook mate, and this could be ugly for Crazy 8. Like rook at c7 could be painful, and so not sure what's going on here. So yeah, he could probably sack the queen, but is the queen mating? So it looks like not sure Crazy 8 could survive this, because queen. So he does sack the queen, but they're down time. That might he might not be able to survive it. No, unfortunately, they're not going to survive it, even though d+out has made in 1. That wow. So Sayori and Todd get a third game here. Main thing that so surprising that they're down time. That Sayori and Todd are playing extremely quickly. So it looks like Chuck Moulton is streaming this also. But yeah, so Todd and Sayori are getting a time advantage, and it's cost them 3 games that they're down time out of the opening. They're down time again right out of the opening. So they don't have coordinated. I mean, they're both stronger players, but they probably haven't played enough to coordinate their openings, and so they're getting down time out of the opening, and it's cost them games. The last few games were lost due to being down time. So this is probably enough material that Todd's attack should not be mating here, but it's also unclear again because they're down time that 7 seconds can he get the material. So De Blasau attacking on f7. Does the queen trade going to be too painful to do at d6? Can he get the material at the right time? Can he just do knight at f2? And this looks pretty painful for, but he does. They're not in time for the material. So De Blasau is down a few seconds, and he does not look like he's going to get the material he needs in the time. So, he could have just taken f2. I'm not sure if I were Sayori, I would have just taken f2. So he's still up a second, and so he goes for the rook at f2. Now he probably just take the queen, but the knight might be mating. So if Todd is sitting for the right material, he might not want to give him the knight. I'm not sure if the knight is mating or not. It could be. Maybe he'll be able to run up and take on h3. But this being down on time has really, really not been working out well for them. So, he got the rook. Wow, 4-4. De Blasau and and Crazy 8 going down, not coordinated, being down time right out of the opening, and unfortunate there. So the coordination there was not on point, and the sacrifice. So they're both strong, crazy house players, but you need to be coordinated to be able to win, get the pieces when you need the pieces. So hopefully they'll be able to at least take the match 6-4. And so he gives him the rook. I'm not sure why he did that. If you remove the defender on g5, and then be mate taking the other knight. So this looks extremely painful. However, so I'm going to assume they're going to be able to win this one, but that's not even clear the way these games have been going. This looks mating. It looks like this game Crazy 8 and De Blasau are winning on both boards. So that was what we saw the earlier games. The other games, they were down time. One of them got an attack, and they were able to just get the pieces they needed by using the time advantage. Crazy 8, this looks relatively good for him. However, being down time, it's dangerous, these positions in the opening. Just that 5 seconds, what does he do? How does he survive this attack being down time? Can he wait for a knight? How powerful is the knight if he waits for it? Does he just play queen h6? So he gets the knight, goes back. So he might even be able to, sacrifice and just say the pieces are not coming when he needs. So, can he just take the bishop on b4? And on this board, De Blasau also his king's a little bit busted and less safe. So this looks punishing there for, time is closer. So this looks somewhat punishing De Blasau. Sayori looks like he's going to crumble here. However, it's unclear, if he got the right pieces, a knight. But this is looking pretty good. So it looks like they're going to finish this match 6-4. So relatively quick. and see what happens. So they're still down a tad bit of time, and should be mate, just one pawn mate. So he doesn't even need to. He didn't even need to do anything. So maybe these are 20-game matches. So if this is a 20-game match, we'll see if they could pull something together. So Crazy 8 doing the sack on F2, mutual sacks on F2. Todd being able to run his king to G1. Can he get a material piece to black? So he just uses the knight, doesn't want to wait. There's still Todd and Sayori is still slightly uptime out of the opening, working on the pin. So just use his own piece, use the queen. Pawn. So this could be painful. So this looks pretty painful there for, they're just mate. So Di Blasau got a pretty crushing mate there right at the beginning. So 7-4, maybe they could pull together back a streak again. So there was a nice comeback on Todd's part. They evened up the score, and they'll come back 3-0. So Di Blasau there working with these at A6 that worked out last game that he led him. So Crazy 8 with the hole on F7, pretty exciting mutual attack, and the score is closer. More games, because Todd and Sayori have been relatively successful on being up on time. I'm not sure why he can't just take the bishop is that much of a threat. I'm not sure why the queen trade, why he wanted even to do that. So he goes for the queen trade, and does he have a mate? So castles, I guess a clever move. Knight takes, you just take the rook, and it doesn't look like he has anything, not enough material. Di Blasau, what exactly would he be waiting for? How powerful is a queen? Event, he has two knights, but the knight is defending C6, so this looks pretty painful. And so they resign. So 8-4, Crazy 8 switching to the rover. Switched up the opening a little bit. Enough of these forks, so I guess he can take the knight. And Di Blasau, some sort of queen trade. Interesting opening, places the rook. How are they going to... Yeah, so it's pretty crazy position here. This looks good for Crazy 8. His king position looks relatively safe. Obviously, a knight could go on H5 to try to open up on G7, but there's immediate threats taking the rook, taking C3. Knight takes C2. So he could do queen takes C3, and then knight takes C2, and then he could have just taken the rook, also take the bishop, all sorts of threats. So this looks over. Doesn't look like Sayori will have the type material he needs for a counterattack. So should be another quick victory. So in fact, it's almost mate there in this board. They're not even uptime. So Crazy 8's uptime this position. He needs something, and it's not going to be enough. So do a tiny bit of spite checks, but it shouldn't be enough. And Todd is in significant danger. That he was able to do the bishop check, but walks into mate with the pawn. Okay, so I guess it was 13 games. I'm not sure how many games they play like that. So they played 13 games, and so it's tough commenting on Bughouse. You had Chuck Moulton. Looks like he was commenting. Had 30-some, almost 40 people watching. So Yeah, they need a little bit of work coordinating. Sayori and Todd were very quick, got time advantages out of the opening. I wasn't sure how to move the pieces back, and so it was a little difficult following the games to make it clear because you can't move the pieces back to see what was going on and commenting on two boards. So I haven't commented on Bughouse, and yeah, actually, it's probably the first time ever doing it. Besides, like those videos I did IRL, a long time ago, I didn't really comment so much on the games. So you have to think about a better method for commenting and the layout. So you could see Chuck Moulton has some sort of alternative layout where he has the boards the same size without the score. So this is just the regular chess.com layout. May be able to fool around with the layout and make it a little bit different, but yeah, so it looked like Sayori and Todd had a time advantage, and Crazy Eight was allowing the sacrifice and allowed his position to be a little bit weak in certain times, plus the time advantage that Todd and Sayori were able to work their time advantage to get the material that they needed to pull off 4 victories. So maybe rating wise, it was about as expected. Not sure if I looked at the first game what the ratings were on the first game. So it looks like Todd and Crazy Eight actually lost rating points. So Sayori and Todd and Sayori actually outperformed and gained like 10, 15 rating points. And okay, so I guess that's about it. Try to pop in a little stream there. We'll see if I keep on streaming a little Bughouse. Bughouse is a pretty difficult game to comment on, and see as the finals move on, and they don't even have like the brackets and the scores that clear. It's a little bit difficult to even to figure out what's going on. We'll see if Crazy Eight. I'll send them a link. I'm not sure if you want to talk. So we see today in the finals, we had won the last 2 months, Israel. So Crazy Eight and Duvid got second place with Israel with a little help of Eli Marco. The Russian team was in full force. They had 11 active players. We only had 3 active players. We're still able to get second. Never enough. Even beat their GM. Crazy Eight got first. I got second, but it wasn't enough to the Red Machine. They had a lot of players that put up quite a few points and were able to take first. Saraza leading her team to victory again. So I'm not even sure I see Saraza if she even played today, but so I guess I'll look real quick. Okay, so I guess that looks like about it. I'll put a stop. I sent the link there. You see Duvid won the Horde Shield. Thank God. Won 2 out of the last 5 Horde Shields. Looks like Diamond Hands got banned. I'm not exactly sure. Usually it has a pretty strong record against me, so it could have been multiple reasons. But thank God you see Duvid on the scoreboard. And coming up, that here you see tournaments. So I thank God I won the monthly Horde last month and the Racing Kings. So we'll see if I try that again. I've actually got in the top 10. I got my first top 10. I'm currently in 7th place for Racing Kings, 41th for Crazy House, my all-time new high Crazy House rating. Horde, 15th. I hit 2,400 at Horde before. Pretty difficult competition. It looks like they made a new Horde team. So got a new Horde team, Pawn Hamster. And so it looks, I guess the weekly Horde tournament's still going. Pawn Hamster, the new team leader of this Horde team, looks like he's going to win. Hode Coleman, a pretty strong player. I was beating him for a while, then he got much better. Pawn Hamster, back, new account, DJ Abner. So Pawn Hamster, it looks like he's going to win this relatively all right. I mean, that pawn's too slow, so he might have had stalemate, but that wasn't the way to go for it. So it looks like Pawn Hamster should win relatively handily. So let's see if there's any interesting tournaments coming up. I guess the Crazy House World Championship is finished. It'll be Katask versus Jasugi, so they'll probably stream that this week. The monthly tournament. They've been asking me to stream some more chess. People ask me all the time. Thank God, our team, Racing Kings. We've got 406 members. Jonathan hardly playing anymore, so I'm not really sure what's happening with him. You see, he's not playing that much anymore. So you will see what happens. He's got his retired, so he says he retired from Racing Kings. He's making his kids science videos. So good luck with that. I haven't given him a like on some of these videos, and so good luck with that. We'll see if he returns to the chess scene. Maybe I'll try to make some kind of instructional videos. Royal Maniac has been making instructional Racing King videos, so I'm not sure if my videos will mean that much, but it's possible I try to make some more Racing Kings video. I get a lot of requests for videos on Racing Kings, so also the Israeli team, the Crazy House. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be streaming much more chess. I just saw we won. Crazy 8 told me he was playing, and Deep Sau from Norway. So hopefully, it's minor stream. So we got John Wolf in the chat. So just Forex Shark. No, I'm just streaming on this. Like I'm not really like that strong of a chess streamer. My stuff, just since I'm streaming now, let me show. Yes, I made these videos on my channel on chess, and it's been a while. Like I put them in a playlist, so it's been almost like 6 months since I did a video on chess. I did the last one, Multiple Truth Hypothesis, and Alpha Zero, and a little bit related to chess. I did maybe I'll stream the World Horde Chess Championships. I don't think there are really any other Horde player that Cinnamon and Crazy 8. So maybe I'll try to stream that if they don't put it on Sabbath. So it's been over a year since I streamed my last chess stream. I don't even look when I streamed my last public study session on chess. So I might stream the World Championship. Doing commentary isn't really my thing. My stuff was more the science of expertise and related to the multiple truth hypothesis. So you can see I streamed DeGroot thought and choice on chess skill levels. This was over a year ago, and I streamed quite a few in the period of time. So on expertise, one like a month from September, October, November, I streamed a few streams on chess, and then I haven't done anything for a year. So I might get back to that and just show. I have all these articles, even more than on chunking theory, on chess and education, on chess and AI, chess and visual representation, various things about chess and expertise that I thought I might try to stream on. I got decent viewerships. I didn't really find any chess players to talk with about it that were that interested in like getting involved in some of the research in it. And most of the chess players, they don't really care about this stuff. Like, I said, like, I mean, it's even in, Cleveland's Psychology of Chess, that most chess players just play to win. Or if it's like a social thing, a way to prove ourselves, a way to, make ourselves useful. And most chess players really don't care about the study. So like a lot of chess players want to improve, they want to get better, um, but they don't even really want to put that much hard work into it. So you could find like some chess players are willing to study, they do a little bit of studying, but to actually study the science of expertise is very rare. And I haven't, found that much reception in it. So just Church of Entropy, who's not a chess player, actually has been interested in chunking theory. So I thought maybe I would do a deep dive on Fernand Gobet. And, he actually is still around. So Andres Eriksson passed away. One of the, that did studies, the expert on expertise passed away. And Fernand Gobet is currently in Oxford or London School of Economics, and a Swiss chess player. I think he's even an international master and one of the greatest research these days in chunking theory. I'm not sure if I'd be able to reach out to him. He probably wouldn't even be interested in talking to me. Um, but I thought I might go further into like a deep dive in the current state of chunking research. And it doesn't look like there's been that much done on recent on chunking and chess. So I say like chess players play to win. Most top chess players are basically just gamers. They don't really care about the science behind it or the psychology behind it, and even trying to explain to chess players the studies. Most chess players deny the scientific studies. So even like I tried like Chess Dojo, a few of these places just making comments, and other chess players. I couldn't even really find any chess players that were even interested in this stuff, even though it is scientific studies. So I'm not exactly so bullish on my chess stream, but as I showed, I have all those papers and documents ready. So I might do that. Hanukkah first night starts tonight. Maybe that will inspire me to do an Ask the Rabbi. So I'll just restart a screen share here again for a second. Um, so I had a few Ask the Rabbis. I did the last Ask the Rabbi on reincarnation just because, doing week in review. So I prepared something on Vivekananda and Freemasonry, Hinduism and Freemasonry. I'm not sure if I'll make a stream on that. I have a lot of stuff on, I had some stuff on debate flowing, and more stuff on multiple truth hypothesis, more like the physics or different things. So you might see some more streams. But I specifically had 3 Ask the Rabbis prepared after the reincarnation one. One was on the Jewish concept of the soul. And, I was going to go over some basic stuff like the 8 chapters of Maimonides, a few papers, a few of the basic Kabbalah of, how do the Hebrew sages understand the concept of the soul. So I'll try to do ask the rabbi on that. Then also one on the Goy Gentile Jew distinction, the history of the Jew Gentile distinction. How did Jews view ourselves as different from Gentiles? I did one on conversion and patrilineal and half Jews, patrilineal matriarchal lineage, which covered a little bit of this, but I would cover the history of the Noahide laws and the history of the Jew-Gentile distinction, and that would include some of the things in the Talmud and the sages, but also kind of the Israeli heretical scholarship, archaeological, and saying that most of this comes from Roman and Greek, that being under, when we were under Greek control and then Roman control, that the Jew-Gentile distinction comes from somewhat of copying Roman common law. And so Hanukkah tonight, celebrating the revolution against the Greeks back in ancient Israel. So you see that actually, the Greek culture, Roman culture had a lot of influence on Judaism, including many of the practices that we do today, and probably the nature of the Jew-Gentile distinction, as I did in my Ask the Rabbi on half Jews and conversion, and another one on slavery, on the history of slavery and Judaism, and actually had quite a bit of material about this. So I'd look at ancient slavery in biblical law. How did that work? What did slavery look like in ancient Israel through Roman times, through the abolition of slavery, to slavery in the modern era, such as in America, to the last 200 years, where you have some leading rabbis opposing slavery. What were the divisions in the Civil War and in Europe when slavery started to be abolished? And then also a deep dive into the Roman and Catholic common law about slavery. Because anyone who studied the Talmud, a lot of the Talmud, maybe even like 10-20% of the Talmud deals with slave laws, and even statements like Tacitus saying that Jews dominated the slave market in ancient Rome. Charlemagne saying that he purchased most of his slaves from Jewish slave traders and like the Radhanite slave traders. That anyone who studied Talmud knows that likely our ancient ancestors were heavy in the slave trade. So I thought I'd try to do a deep dive on that. So okay, so Crazy 8 is here, still live. If so I gave him the link. So if you're watching, I'm still live. You could join if you want to talk. There's only a handful of people watching, but if you want to put it out there. So yeah, Chad, I was streaming the Bughouse World Championship. My friend from Israel in Norway, Crazy 8 and Dibalasau, who won their match. And so let me just show the playlist. Ask the Rabbi series, my most popular series actually. So the post Adam Green one, the first one, Norvin, has been popular. On that, I actually have my one on the history of anti-Semitism and the Holocaust, Zionism, anti-Zionism, Lashon Hora with Claire Caw. I tried to answer Claire Caw's questions for that she had. That she keeps on asking, but I had a whole stream where I tried to answer her questions. So here was Ask the Rabbi 6 on half-Jews, intermarriage, history of biblical and Israeli law, and this will mirror the one that I plan on doing on the Jew-Gentile distinction. And you'd seen this video on half-Jews, intermarriage, and I talk quite a bit about patrilineal versus matrilineal descent and the origins and the likeliness that in ancient Israel it was patrilineal and it changed to matrilineal. And I went over the halacha of the Orthodox perspective, and then some of the modern Israeli scholarship that says likely these laws mirrored the Roman law. Same with conversion. That I went over the history of the Torah law, the laws of conversion till today. I think the stream actually got cut off where I was going to do the current state of Israeli conversion, but that stream went for over 5 hours, and then I got cut off. It would have went for like probably 7 hours if I had finished. And I read this long paper, also on marriage, about intermarriage on the half Jews. I'll go back to that in a second, but this also is saying that probably mirrored the Roman law that was adapted in the times of the Talmud. I read this long paper about the emancipation of Jews and Napoleon in Germany, and very interesting paper, a lot of information there. Then I did one on Edenics. Okay, so we'll see if here's Crazy 8. So let me just I just added him. So let me just finish so I did the one on Edenics. The professor from Canada, Isaac Moseson, about Hebrew being the origin of all languages, and I had this debate with Eke about Amalek and Edom. And I did another one on some interesting stuff about Parshas Bereshis and Noach, the conception of the Hebrew conception of the creation of the world, and different understandings, and also about Noah as the father of nations, 70 nations. and then another post Adam Green show, uh, and then the last one on reincarnation. So okay, we have Crazy Eight here. Are you there?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, great.
Hi.
Okay, yes, I streamed the match. It looked like Chuck was doing it, and he had like 40 viewers. I only had like 3 viewers because I didn't even say I was going to do it beforehand, and I hadn't not sure what kind of audience. So I didn't even share it anywhere. But if you watch back the commentary, um, I thought most basic. I was surprised that Todd and Siori got a time advantage most games out of the opening. So even though he played a little risky, maybe sacrificing F2, F7 against you, they were able to get a few games because they were able to leverage the time advantage and wait for material. So I'm not sure if and also maybe coordination between you and DeBlasau. Obviously, you're both very strong, crazy house players. But if you didn't coordinate openings or the type material, or how you're going to coordinate, the type material that you wanted, so you still, I guess, was it a 13 game series? I didn't even make sense how many games you played. You played 13 games.
So it's best of 16. So first to get nine points wins the match. And we didn't really uh, practice openings, and we didn't know what to expect. It's our first match together. We played a bit together, but not too much. And yeah, it wasn't so good on my board on some of the games, but we won enough games.
It could be they're just exceptionally fast. I'm not sure if the players even the rating, but I was surprised that you were down on time on both board. Like almost every game you were down on time, and they were able to leverage that for wins a few times.
Yeah, that's right. Because we're not in the best of shape, and it's Bagos is not like crazy house. Time is extremely important, and I'm not fast enough in the best of shapes. I also played a lot of crazy house lately, so it's not good for a Bagos sometimes. Uh, at least speed for the speed part of Bagos.
So you're the number two. See, they don't have it so clear. Like I couldn't find a nice chart to see like the pairings and the current standings. I'm not sure if they have that somewhere.
Yeah, maybe I can show.
If you have if you want to do a screen share,
Yeah,
you
I
could just
think
click
I
on share your screen,
where is it?
or you could share the link on Lee Chess, and I'll share it.
Yeah, I can send you the link.
Yeah, I couldn't find like the spreadsheet that had the pairings. I'm not sure if you're the number two seat to make the finals.
I'll send you the link.
Okay.
So there are like many teams, and we are 13th, I think, or 12th seed as a team, and there are like I don't know 12 groups. You can see the names. Katask is the first seed with Jeffrey. Yeah,
Okay, so you're Group L, and this was the first match that you played. Um, so you're in tighter ahead of you because they I guess they didn't update it, so you'll be tied for first place after this one. Ego
yeah.
Smasher and Eckarf are higher rated. They're favorite over you.
So actually, we're seed 12 and 13, so somehow we are the same group, but two teams out of every group qualify for the next stage. You can see, so you can click upwards. Like it's like just the group stage. So we will qualify, but this match is a bit important if we win or not, and it should take place next week. Not sure which day, but I will let you know. And I guess we are not the favorites unless we get into good shape.
There's only 4 people in your group.
Yeah, somehow some teams left. It's a bit
Okay.
complex, like many teams, like I don't know, 60 teams, but some are not so didn't participate in the end.
Okay, so you just have Ego Smasher and Eckhart left to play.
And the team, the fourth seed, we didn't
Okay,
play
so
them.
yeah, then they have the buys. So
Yeah.
and so Sayori and Todd's victories, is that did they actually win that, or is that from their buys?
I'm not sure. It's a good question. Doesn't really matter, I think. Maybe you
Oh,
can scroll down and press matches. Like you can press matches and it will show you more.
okay. See if I click on that.
Like a bit, how can I
It
find it?
doesn't seem to show me anything more.
You can press like when you say group L, like standings and matches. You can press matches here.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah. So let's see. Yeah. So not they need to
Yeah, I haven't updated
write
it.
the result. Yeah, they need to update it. But
Doesn't look like, okay, so it's unclear, but you're saying it's very likely that it'll be uh, your team and Ego Smasher that
yeah.
advance.
But the other teams are very, very strong. Like after we advance, it will be very hard to stay in the tournament. But it's okay.
Yeah, so I guess it preparation. So a lot of these other teams, even the Capsule and Pure Essence, Caspi Israel and Pure Essence have been playing for years, thousands of games. They probably they're in tune to exactly the specific needs of Bughouse and coordinating openings and knowing the type pieces they need. Probably Helm's Night Chicken Cross the Road, even though Blitz Bullet and 12 team, yeah, how much they've played, but they'll probably also be in tune to that. So it's unclear if how much work you'll put into playing or actually preparing openings or communication style to be competitive and so that your openings coordinate in the type pieces that you want to get for each other or don't want to get, or how you communicate that. You didn't do did you do voice chat even?
We did voice chat like for the third time today, so not enough practice at all to be at the highest level. We'll play some games to practice. Not like there's not much science in Baghouse. You just need to practice and get into good shape together as a team and on your own board. Not so many, I don't know, secret strategies, but there are some ideas. We just play for fun mostly.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I might not. Maybe I'll stream more if it's. I'm not even sure. I'd have to look into it how Chuck does it to get the both boards open, because I just did the chess.com where it has the one big board and the one small board, and I couldn't even figure out how to move.
You don't have to do it like Chuck. Yeah, I know what you mean. I also watched last year. And
I couldn't even figure out how to move the moves backwards, like to show what happened by going back a move or two. So I couldn't even figure out how to do that. So I'm not sure how useful streaming that is if you can't giving commentary like that.
yeah, it's not so good. It's very tough to give a commentary, live commentary. It's mostly like, yeah, you can't say much. You can just say what you see, but not analyze anything. As far as I know, you can do post games commentary, but it's also not so easy. And it's easy to speak after the game, but live action is a bit problematic in Baghouse.
Well, I guess great job, good work. I mean, unfortunately, we didn't defend the Crazy House team battle this week. I mean, you would have had to, I guess, get the other players interested in playing it, and it's kind of fun, even if it's just a league. With the Russian league and the Nigerian league, so it was an enjoyable tournament. And
It's pretty funny. At first, I was very competitive about it. Like when I joined in late August and start of September. But then I understand it's just for fun as well, even if there is like finals and something like this. Like so, I didn't invite anyone today. Only like when the tournament started and it was too late. And it's also a bit tough to play it because it's 5 p.m. Israel time, and most of my guys still work at that time, like Igor and Pure Essence and the rest. Eli can play sometimes, and he played today. But so we just play like me, you, and Eli, and sometimes Igor, and just for fun.
Yeah, I remember Israel has like different schedules like that where a lot of businesses or stores close up for a few hours lunchtime and then open up in the afternoon, for like 2 to 6 or 8. So they different, or even close from like 11 till 3 and then open up from like 3 till 8 or something. I forget exactly, but I remember that the hours of businesses was different than the U.S. your standard 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm. So I have a question. Do you use do you pay StreamYard streams software or no?
No, I thought about it. I mean, you could see the video has the imprint powered by StreamYard. So if you pay, there was a special for like $15 a month. We had to buy the whole year at one time, so it might even be like $25 a month. And then there's no imprint, and it's unlimited. So I'm capped at 20 hours free. So as of now, I'm just using the free version. I don't want to spend money unnecessarily. So if I was doing more streaming,
Yeah, of course.
I would probably pay StreamYards. There's other services also like Restream. I actually have OBS also that it takes a little bit of programming. I actually plan on buying the new MacBook, the that's coming out, and so maybe I'll take my streaming more serious. Like beginning of next year, I'll buy this new MacBook, and maybe I'll get a streaming service and stream more. But it's kind of a unnecessary use of money because I don't. It's very difficult to make money streaming, and so it's just a slightly benefit for the people who watch, or to make it look a little bit more professional, to pay to not have the imprint there. So that basically be
Yeah,
the
of
only
course, of
advantage.
course. I actually tried to make a stream, and I streamed the Shield Arena, but without talking, just screen capture StreamYard. But it was like 1 week trial thing, so I'm not sure I can use it again. I tried
It
to
should be
spend like
free. I mean, StreamYard should be free. I didn't pay him anything.
I used it for Twitch, yeah, but
Or for
maybe it's still
Twitch.
yeah. I can try again. Yeah, I can show you. I can send you the link.
Yeah, we could talk offline. Like, if you
Yeah.
I'm not sure how good you are with tech, but yeah, I'm a little bit of a tech guy. So yeah, I guess happy Hanukkah. I'm not sure when's your next match.
Yeah, so it's a bit, this tournament is a bit annoying to schedule, so I will need to send some messages with Icar's team and see when it's good for them. Like you need 4 people to play. So I think I will try to do it next Sunday, uh, as it needs to be played by next Sunday, and I will let you know if we got something. You can just watch or stream, whatever you want.
Yeah,
It's a
we'll
nice
see if
event.
any people watch are getting positive feedback, because it may not be that interesting, and my ability to comment on Crazy House is more than the bug house. Is like, what board do you concentrate on, and you miss something, and then as I said, because I can't even move the pieces back to show what happened, or to in like chess.com I have to think like how I do the arrows or something like that. So I may not stream the bug house, and Chuck Moulton was streaming it anyways.
Yeah, of
And
course. Yeah, but I will just let you know. We can talk after this. Like, but it was nice. Thanks for streaming this one. Uh, and
okay, yeah, great, happy
yeah,
Hanukkah, and I guess be
happy
in touch
Hanukkah.
maybe Tuesday playing the weekly. We'll see you then.
Yeah, I
Otherwise,
think
next week Sunday.
I will play this Tuesday. It's actually, I think it's the monthly event.
Was the monthly already?
Yeah,
Yes, you won the monthly last month.
I think I did. Not sure. Yeah, I
Okay,
think
yeah, great. So
I did.
happy Hanukkah, and hopefully I'll see you Tuesday.
Thanks, David. See you then.
Okay, great.
Bye, everyone.